So in this video I'm going to be talking about a recap of how my 2023 goals went. I will be showing you guys my new vision board for 2024 along with my new goals and just how to keep on track with your goals for the new year, and how you can just be the best person you can in the new year. I think the last time I done this, and the first time actually, was in my Girl Talk video, so if you enjoyed this one then definitely go check that one out. First I'm going to start off with a little recap of how my 2023 went. It was quite a good year, to be fair. I think I started it off quite strong and I think it ended a little bit more downhill than I would have liked to, but that happens and you just need to accept that that's gonna happen. So some of the things that I achieved this year that were some of my goals were to pass majority of my exams, which I did. I passed 3 out of 4 of them, which I didn't want to set myself up too high and pass all of them, because I've never really been amazing at school, so you want realistic goals when it comes to New Year resolutions and that. So I was really proud of myself for passing 3 out of the 4, and I got into uni, which was a goal. That was probably one of my bigger goals, which I'm really proud of myself for. It was my first pick uni as well. At the start of the year I wanted to go to one uni, but then throughout it changed to a different one, which I got into. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, and super proud of myself. Another goal was to go to different places this year, and I went on my first solo holiday, well, my first holiday with friends and my boyfriend, which was Zante, which I made a vlog about, so again, go see that if you haven't. But yeah, that was a really big thing for me because I hate flying. Like, one of my biggest fears is heights, so I was really proud of myself for being able to go on a plane and not cry about it. Another one of my goals was to achieve good physical health, like be happy in my body, which I feel like I am so much happier now than what I was at the start of last year, which I think is due to a mixture of going to the gym, finding styles that I like, finding clothes that fit my body, and just accepting that not everything about me is going to be perfect, and the least I can do is to try and embrace them. Some of the goals I didn't achieve. Like, I wanted to read a certain amount of books, which I ended up not getting into, which is going to be my first goal for this month, but we'll get into that later. I wanted to start my driving, but again, didn't do that, so that's going to carry on. So the goals last year that I didn't achieve, like my driving or reading books, I'm going to carry on to this year because they're still really important things that I want to work on and I want to better myself. Yeah. I'm so happy with the way it went, like all the good and the bad, and yeah, it was a really great year. So the way I do my goals for the new year, which I started doing at the start of 2023, and I found it absolutely amazing. It was so helpful, so organised and good, which I'm then going to follow on through this year, is that I do a goal focus for each month, and then by the time December comes, all of those goals will kind of work as a habit. So I'll go more into that soon, but I also want to add that the reason behind me breaking up these goals into separate months is because it takes 30 days for you to start a habit. So like say you want to start waking up early in the morning. If you wake up early in the morning for a whole month or 30 days, then that's you starting that habit. You get in the routine of it, and if you break it like throughout those 30 days, then it kind of falls off. So it's really important to stay on track with these goals throughout the month and it means that you're not focusing on about 10 goals all at the same time. I found that a couple years ago when I was wanting to do my goals, I was trying to do every single one of them every single day, which was super, super hard. I lost motivation so quickly. And so I think it breaks it up really nicely, and it lets you divide your time into one set thing in that moment for a whole month. And then once that thing becomes a habit, you can move on to the next habit that you want to start making. So I really, really recommend doing this method for any goals that you have for 2024 as well. So I've set out all my monthly goals for the year on my Notion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record the screen while I talk you guys through each goal and how I'm going to work on them throughout the month. So for January, I want to focus on my reading/writing. I want to read more self-help books, so books that are going to help improve my mental health or improve having a positive mindset. I want to try out journaling. I also want to keep a book diary slash reviews of books that I've read throughout the year, so I can look back, see what kind of genres I like, what I enjoyed most, and also just keep up on track with how many books I've read. And I know it says read around 30 books this year, but that is going down about 10 to 20, because I think 30 is just an unreal amount. And I don't see me reading 30 books this year when I think I could barely even read 10 last year. So I think 20 is a good goal. For February, I want to focus on food. So I want to learn how to cook at least 3 main meals that I'll be able to know the recipe off by heart and just go anywhere and be able to cook it with the stuff that I need. I also want to start meal prepping for the week. So mainly my dinners get cooked by my mum, so I want to start focusing on my breakfast and my lunch and my dinners where I won't be at home. I also want to find healthier alternatives, so things that have a lot of calories in it. I want to try and cut down or find a lower calorie alternative. So like if I'm craving a KFC or a McDonald's, I want to try and see if I can find something that will satisfy that craving while also sticking to a good calorie diet. And I also want to work on having breakfast every day, because I struggle so much with eating in the morning. I used to feel quite sickish after I ate in the morning, but now it's just a kind of I don't know what to make or what to eat. I can't really be bothered making something. I'd rather get up, get ready for the day and just go. I really want to work on having breakfast as part of my routine instead of ignoring it. For March, I want to work on my studying for uni, so I want to create an achievable and healthy study planner where I'm studying at least every other day for all of my modules and not just the one. I want to be able to finish tasks before deadlines, so at least a week in advance, because oh my god, that was a stressful time leaving things to last minute. I want to read some of the suggested books for my uni, because I found that was really helpful last semester, especially if I didn't understand something. I would read a little part of one of the books or search up a key word that came up in one of the books, and I found that really helped. And I also want to make sure that any work that I've missed during the uni week, whether that's reading a book or studying, I want to make sure that I'm all caught up by the end of the week, because a really bad habit that I had was I'd say, right, okay, I'll do it at the end of the week, and then I'd never do it, which would then build up the next week and the next week and the next week, and it was just totally stressful and unneeded. So those are the things that I want to work on for studying before my exams and deadlines for April and May. For April, I want to focus on my content, so that's all my platforms, which are YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. I want to have video ideas organised. I want to know what I need to film, what I'm filming next, and when I want it to be uploaded. I want to be able to have ideas that are unique as well and that aren't just the same old, like a week in my life, a day in my life, you know, the same things over and over. I want it to be creative. I also want a time management and schedule for my uploads and content ideas, because I do find myself recording things or having a day where I do stuff and then I don't do anything for a week and I'm just lost with what to upload next or when to upload next, which ties in with the next one, posting more consistently. I want to make sure that I have stuff that are ready or that I'm going to be able to film soon, rather than having a gap, because the more you upload, specifically on TikTok, I find the more you upload, whether it's jumping on trends or creative ideas on your own, the more reach you get and the more engagement you get with your followers already. I also want to focus on growing my smaller platforms like YouTube. I think the biggest platform I'm on is either my TikTok or my Instagram, but I'd really like for my YouTube to kind of be at the same level as that. So I want to try and focus more on my YouTube than I would my TikTok or Instagram, and also promote my YouTube on those platforms as well. For me, I want to work on my finance, so I want to start learning how to invest and budget properly. Now that I'm 18, I think I need to start taking money seriously and not just wasting it all the time. So I want to look into stuff that's going to help me do that and help me invest properly in my future, like buying a car, buying my first home. I want to save when I can. I don't want to be going out all the time as much as I love it. If I'm going out to meet up with someone or catch up with someone, I'd rather now find a nice little cafe that I can go to where I can just get a drink, rather than go out and do an actual activity that we don't necessarily need to do if we're just going to catch up, if that makes sense. Choosing budget-friendly options as well. If I need an outfit for something, or if I'm wanting to buy something, I want to make sure that I'm not just spraying it all on shopping. I want to make sure that I'm actually taking into account my budget for that month, what I've got left and what I still need to spend on things. For June, I want to focus on my experiences, so I want to invest in travel experiences. Like I said, I want to travel to at least 5 different places this year, abroad and in the UK. So whether I'm driving or not by this point, I want to go on a solo trip somewhere. It will really grow my confidence a lot by travelling somewhere myself, like in a different city or a different part of Scotland. So that's one thing I want to do. I also want to go to more social events to meet people. I want to work on having more friends and having a wider group of friends. Not that I don't appreciate all the girlies I've got now, but I would really like to reach out more and find more people that have similar ambitions and goals as me. I'd like to go to more social events that do that. Like, there's a lot in Glasgow right now that are like girl clubs, like walking and pottery and stuff like that, where you can meet new people. So I'd really like to build up the confidence to be able to go and do one of them. And I'd also like to learn a new hobby. So if you've got any suggestions on hobbies that you already do or that you're wanting to start, please let me know down below, because I'd really like to start one that I've either tried before or not tried. I don't know what it is yet. I can be a really creative person when it comes to it. So I really want to focus on that for June as well. For July, I want to work on my relationships. So I want to plan and host a family event. I don't get to see much of like my outer family other than my parents and my gran and granda on my mum's side, because on my dad's side most of them live down in England. And on my mum's side, they're just all mainly so busy, as am I, to be honest. So I'd like to be able to plan out something where we can all go out for a dinner, or we can all go and do something, or like meet up in a house or something, just to get closer with them again and bond with them, because I think family is so important, and it's really good to keep in touch with them and keep in contact and just know what's going on in their lives. I also want to make plans and reach out to friends. So this isn't just friends that I would talk to weekly, this is friends that I maybe want to catch up on or want to have a closer relationship with as well. Because I do have a rule of, like, if I reach out to them, I need them to reciprocate that back. But I also need to allow myself to reach out to them and not just put it all on them to do it first, if that makes sense. So I want to do that. I want to plan date nights for me and Aiden for each month. So although I'm going to be working on this at the start of the year, I want to also make it a focus for July, as well as our relationship goals that we have for the year, which I'm not going to share because those are private. But we do have some goals for the year that we want to achieve together to better our relationship. August, I'm going to invest in my self-care. So although I already believe that I have a good form of self-care, like with my skincare and looking after myself, I want to focus on other aspects of it, like my hair and my nails. So I want to start investing in a good quality shampoo. I don't really use conditioner anymore because I found that built up in my roots a lot since I have such short hair. And my hairdresser basically said, like, you don't really need it, to be honest. I find that it can get really oily easy, really greasy. It can sometimes get quite frizzy. The only time I absolutely love it is when I'm fresh out the shower and it's dried and curled a wee bit. So if you have any tips on how to do that, then please let me know. So I don't know why I completely skipped over September in the recording, but basically my focus for that month will be fitness. So just proceeding with my workout plans, maybe mess about, try a few new workouts, tracking my progress through photos, so like comparing the start of the year to the end. I want to go outside, either a walk or a run, at least every day, just to get a bit of vitamin C and also keep me going. And yeah, I want to look up and look into taking some vitamins and supplements that can help better my health. I want to work on productivity and organising, so I want to redecorate my room. It would just be nice to have a total refresh of some things, as well as clearing out my wardrobe and my drawers, like just getting rid of unnecessary things that I don't need or I no longer use or that are just causing total clutter up. I want to make better to-do lists, daily and weekly ones, so that I can become more organised with my plans and what I'm doing. And I want to keep a clean workspace, because if you have a clean workspace, then you're able to get like in the zone more when you're studying or researching or doing whatever it is you need to do. Whereas if you have makeup lying about or wrappers or whatever, then your mind feels distracted. So I want to make sure that I keep on top of that. And lastly, for November, I want to work on my mental health. Although this is probably the most important one out of all my goals for the new year, I've put it to the very end because I find that I get a cheeky wee bit of winter depression, and so I think working on it in November will be an absolute perfect time to lighten myself up and keep myself going when the weather's getting colder, it's getting darker outside, and it can impact my mentality. So I want to start practicing meditation. I already kind of do this when I'm manifest. I also want to look at different manifestation methods. If you would like, I'll make a video on the methods that I already use, but I want to kind of broaden my variety on methods that I can use as well. I want to have a detox weekend, so basically I want to have a weekend where I focus on myself and I detox from social media, like going out places, just a weekend where I can put myself first and just relax. And I want to have a day of rest at least every 2 weeks, because I do find myself building things up like day after day till the point where I'm completely burnt out and I just can't do anything anymore. So I don't want that to happen anymore, so I'm going to try and make sure that I'm focusing on things as well as myself, and set out time to focus on myself during the week. And by December, all these goals I hopefully will have achieved and become a habit. I put this wee quote at the end just to kind of keep me going when I read it and give me a purpose to why I'm doing this, because the only way for you to keep at your goals is to realise why you're doing it, like why you want to do this and why you want to achieve these goals in the new year. Yeah, those are all my goals for 2024. So the next thing I want to show you guys is my vision board for 2024. Before I done my vision board as well, I wrote down a little list of a bunch of ideas that I want to include in it, like a bunch of pictures that I want to look at and see to help motivate me. So I think it's really good to just write down first what it is you're looking for, what it is you want to look at and visualise yourself doing when you look at your board. And this is my 2024 one. I'm absolutely in love with it. I find that a digital one is so much easier, less expensive, and a lot more calming to make than it is like printing out a bunch of pictures and putting it on a board. Not that anything is wrong with that, but I just personally enjoyed doing this more. If you're wondering how I made it, I used a mixture of InShot and PixArt. If you have a look at it, you can see that I also have included some pictures that I've taken or of myself, like me travelling, or a picture of where I really liked how my body looked. Some of my other goals, like my reading, skincare, content, driving, which I have as all my backgrounds and wallpapers, so that I can constantly be reminded of my goals for 2024. So if you haven't yet, then I totally recommend making a vision board as a way of helping you motivate for the new year. So now that I have shared my goals with you for 2024, you're probably wondering, right, well, how do you stick to them? Like, how do you stick to your goals? Which I think is the most frequent question that people ask themselves or ask other people. Like, oh, that's great that you want to achieve all these things, but how the hell are you going to do it? One of the things is separating your goals out monthly, which I talked about earlier. It takes 30 days to start a habit, create a habit. So separating the goals out monthly is such an important thing to do. Also, by slotting out a time each day to work on that goal. So whether you need to sit down and do it, whether you need to go outside and do it, it doesn't need to be anything huge every day. Even just 5-10 minutes of doing something that's going to help you work towards it is so important and will really help you develop that into a bigger thing in the future. Also, planning out your week and your month is super important, which I highly recommend getting a little journal like this. The one I've got is by Cami Sophia, who is an absolute angel. As you can see inside it, it's got little to-do lists and little weekly planners. I highly recommend getting one of these, if not then something similar, so that you can use it throughout the year to organise yourself better and make sure that you're not just sitting about being lazy, wishing that you were one of those girls or people that was achieving all their goals throughout the year. Another important thing on how to achieve your goals is just remembering why you want to do these things. So, for example, for finance, I want to work on my finance so that in a couple years I can buy my own house or flat, I can buy my own car, I can travel to a place that I've always wanted to go. And remembering why you want to do it, like if you are sitting there and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered going to the gym, why were you going to go to the gym in the first place? There's always an underlying reason to why you have started these goals, and make sure that that is constantly in your mind when you're starting to doubt things. So yeah, I think this is the end of my 2024 goals video. I hope you all had an amazing new year and an amazing Sunday reset and fresh start to 2024. I'm super excited to work on my goals this year, and I will keep you updated on how they are going every now and again. I'm super grateful for all the love that I got in 2023, and I can't wait to make more videos in 2024. I'll see you guys in the next video.